Hi, I'm James Ball, founder of the Interview Academy, and welcome to our series on how to answer the most common interview questions that you're ever likely to face. Today's question is, what salary are you looking for? Now, this is a question that gets asked in every interview. Firstly, it's really important to understand that the vast majority of companies will want to pay you the least it can get away with. Now, market forces, your skill level, and how in demand you are will determine what that figure is, but inevitably it may be lower than the number you're thinking of. When you get asked this question, it's really important to not just blurt out a figure you have in your mind. Salary negotiation is an integral part of any recruitment process, and rushing into your answer could mean that you either go in too high and don't get the job, or you go in too low and get it, but at a lower salary than you deserve. Normally, in my experience at least, you won't enter into a negotiation during an interview. Typically, your interviewer will ask you the question, you'll tell them the number, they'll write it down, and they'll refer to it when they make you a job offer. And it's at that stage that the negotiation starts. But getting this number right in the interview could make the difference between you getting the job or not, and at an appropriate salary. It's really important to remember that when you apply for a job these days, you'll have almost certainly done so online, and there should have been a salary or salary range in the advert. That's the figure you need to be working to. So the first thing you need to do is to make a note of that number and remember it before you go into the interview. If the salary wasn't on the advert, then go online and do some research. Go on Indeed.com and see what people in similar roles in the same area are being paid. Or speak to your recruiter and ask directly what the package is for the role. Now, there's some scope for ask for slightly more money than was advertised, but if you do, don't ask for too much, as you'll annoy the interviewer, and secondly, you'll need a really good reason as to why you deserve the extra cash. This will be particularly difficult if you haven't sold yourself well enough during the interview. If you ask for a number that's outside of the advertised range, the next obvious question you'll get asked is, why have you applied for this job if you know it's not paying what you want? I've had people sitting in front of me asking for £10,000 more than I'd advertised, and they'd crumble at this question. I've heard answers like, because I'm really good at what I do. And to be honest, that's not good enough and just annoyed the hell out of me. So when you're thinking of the salary you're going to ask for, bear all of that in mind. Good interviewers will also ask you what you're currently earning, and most people will leave a job in the expectation that they're going to earn more in the new role, and everybody knows that. But if the jump you're asking for is too big, that will also raise questions. So be ready for the follow-on questions about a lack of experience or the jump being too big. Typically what happens in those scenarios, if you get offered the job, is you get offered the job at a higher salary than you're currently earning, but lower than the one you asked for. Or worse still, lower than the salary that was advertised. But as I said earlier, it's at the offer stage where the negotiation starts and not in the interview. So with all of that in mind, a really good way to answer this question is like this. I'm currently earning £20,000, but after 2 years experience and a proven track record of A, B and C, I'm ready to take on more responsibility, and I'm therefore looking for £23,000. Having done some research online, I think it's a fair salary for someone at my level. This answer is balanced. You don't want to be unrealistic, you don't want to be greedy, but you also don't want to undersell yourself. Remember, employers will pay you the least possible amount that they can get away with. If you want to be a little bit cheeky, you could throw the question back at them and say something on the lines of, based on the research I've done, I found that someone with similar experience to myself going to a similar role would earn between £22,000 to £26,000, but I understand that all companies are different, so can I ask you how much you would typically pay someone with my experience? An answer like this is a little softer. You're still setting your expectations, but you're putting the ball back in their court. This is a tactic to use only if you're a confident person and the interview's going well. Don't say it if you're the nervous type or if you're facing a difficult interviewer. On another note, it's probably wise not to apply for jobs that you wouldn't take because the advertised salary is much lower than you'd accept, in the hope that you can push it up in a negotiation. You'll probably just end up wasting your time and the interviewers. Okay, that's it. If you want full details on how to answer this question and the other remaining 9 most common interview questions, then click on the link below and download our free guide, which will give you full details on what you should be saying in these questions and some sample answers. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button on this page, and there you'll find our other videos on how to answer the other 9 most common interview questions and much, much more. Good luck with the interview.